This is lesson 4-2a, exponential decay. Here's the general exponential decay model. Y equals a times 1 minus r raised to the t, where y is the future amount, a is the initial amount, r is the percent decrease expressed as a decimal, not a percent, and t is time. Okay, we've got one example with several subparts. You buy a car for $20,000. The value of the car decreases 15% each year. Write a model, identify the initial amount, decay factor, annual percent decrease, make a graph, find the value of the car in 10 years, and estimate when the car is worth half as much as when you purchased it. Okay, let's first write the model. So I'll use y equals the initial amount, $20,000, times 1 minus the percent decrease as a decimal, 0.15, raised to the, we can go t or x. And then most people would simplify that. Y equals 20,000 times 0.85 to the t. So that's going to be my model. When I use my calculator, I'll replace t with x. Identify the initial amount. So the initial amount is $20,000. The decay factor, this whole quantity here is the decay factor, so 0.85. And the annual percent decrease, that was 15%. A common mistake is students use a 0.15 as opposed to 0.85. Next, I'm going to make a graph. I'm going to use my graphing calculator for these last three problems. So we'll erase this. I'll keep the model up there. Okay. So I put the model in my graphing calculator, 20,000 times 0.85 raised to the x. I will now show you the windows I used. X min is 0, x max is 20. I scaled it by 2. I like to have 10 tick marks. Y min 0, y max 20,000, y scaling 2,000. I'll show you my graph. Exponential decay. The next part said find the value of the car in 10 years. There's two ways of doing that. I could just put 10 in there and do it again in my calculator. Or, as long as I've got a graph, let me show you. If I go second, calculate, and then value, let's have an x value of 10. And it shows me where that is in the graph, and it gives me the associated y value, 3937.49. 3937.49. And then finally, it says estimate when the car is worth half as much. So we purchased it for $20,000. I want to find when is it worth half as much. So I'm going to do half of 20,000 is 10,000. I'm going to graph the horizontal line, y equals 10,000, find the intersection point, and go down to the time axis and see what the associated time is. So let me do that right now. I'll go to y equals, I'll go to y sub 2. Half of 20,000 is 10,000. I'll graph that. And then all I'm going to try to do is figure out what that associated x value is. I can tell you 2 years, it's going to be about 4 years, but I'll use my calculator. So I'm going to use second, calculate, and intersect. Second, calculate, intersect, number 5. And whenever there's two curves, you can just go enter, enter, enter. First curve, second curve, guess. So enter for the first curve, enter for the second curve, enter for the guess. It's going to that intersection point, and it's telling me the y value is 10,000, the x value is 4.26. I'll just round that to about 4.3 years. So there you have it, how to write an exponential decay model and do some evaluations with it.